gals. So for today's read aloud, I'm super excited because it really reminds me of a connection that I have. So when I was little, probably like 5 or 6, I remember my very first time of getting ready to jump off the diving board. I was really scared at first, but finally I did it. I splashed into the water and it was so much fun. Did you hear how short that story was when I told you about me going off the diving board? That was my small moment. But remember, this week we're working on taking those small moments and expanding them and making them longer and stronger to turn into a really detailed story. Well, my story is fantastic for today because I found this book called Jabari Jumps. I had never heard of this book before. I was at the library and I saw it. I loved it and then I had to buy it. So today I want to read to you about Jabari. Jabari is getting ready to take his first jump off the diving board just like me in my story. But what I love about this story is the author, whose last name is Cornwall. I'm not really sure how you say her first name. I could guess, but I might get it wrong. Gaia Cornwall, maybe? Anyways, she does an amazing job of not just telling me, hey, Jabari's getting ready to jump. He finally gets enough courage and he does it. She puts in so many details where I feel like the whole time I know exactly how Jabari's feeling. So today as I read, you have a little task. I want you to go get paper and I want you to get something to write with. If you need to pause the video and go run and get those things, then that's a-okay. But get paper and pencil because you have a job. Your job today is, as I'm reading, I want you to write down things that the author says that lets you know how Jabari feels. So you're kind of like finding text evidence. As I'm reading, if you need to hit pause when you hear something great to write down and then start the video back up, you can absolutely do that. Just as long as you're writing down details that let you know how Jabari feels. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's read this story. Jabari jumps. I'm jumping off the diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? Said his dad. The diving board was high and maybe a little scary. But Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed his swimming test, and now he was ready to jump. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari, so I'm not scared at all. He does look pretty excited, huh? You might want to pause the video right now and write down how you knew that he was not scared at all. What did the author say to tell you he was not scared at all? What are you writing down? Jabari watched the other kids climb the long ladder. Long is a good adjective, you guys. They walked all the way out to the end of the board, as big as tiny bugs. They stood on the edge. They spread their arms and bent their knees and sprang up, up, up. And then they dove down, down, down. Splash. Looks easy, said Jabari. See how tiny they are way up high on that diving board? They do look like tiny little bugs, don't they? That was a cool detail. But when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. Jabari stood at the bottom of the ladder. He looked up. You can go before me if you want, he told the kid behind him. I need to think about what kind of special jump I'm going to do. Jabari thought and thought. How do you think he's feeling right now? You want to hit pause and write down some ways that you think he might be feeling when he looked at the long ladder, when he let other people get in front of him, and when he had to stop and think about his jump? Can you make some predictions and jot them down? Jabari started to climb up and up. This ladder is very tall, he thought to himself. Are you okay? Called his dad. Oh, I'm just a little tired, said Jabari. Well, maybe you should climb down and take a tiny rest, said his dad. Tiny rest sounded like a good idea. How do you think he's feeling? Can you write down some text evidence to prove how he's feeling? Also, look at this illustration. I love this. We have Jabari up high, and then the illustrator drew dad and little sister down low. Remember, your pictures can be from up high, from up underneath, or from head on. Excuse me. When he got to the bottom, Jabari remembered something. Oh, I forgot to do my stretches, he said to his dad. Stretching is very important, said his dad. I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping, said Jabari. They looked up at the diving board together. Look at their faces up close. I want you to hit pause in just a second, and I want you to write down how you think Jabari's feeling and why. But also, think about how his dad's feeling and why. Go ahead and start writing that. Hit pause now, and then you can come back and hear the rest of the story. It's okay to feel a little scared, his dad said. Sometimes I feel a little scared. I take a deep breath and I tell myself, I'm ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels like a little surprise. Jabari loved surprises. There they are. Other kids are jumping off the diving board. I wonder if Jabari's going to do it. Jabari took a deep breath and felt it fill his body from the end of his hair right down to the tip of his toes. Jabari looked up and he began to climb. Up and up and up and up until he got to the top. Jabari stood straight up. He walked all the way to the end of the board. He's getting very close. His toes curled around the edge of the board. Look at that picture. We can't even see Jabari's face, but it's kind of like what Jabari would see if he was looking downward at his curled toes. Jabari looked out as far as he could see. He felt like he was ready. Oh, I love surprises, he whispered. He took a deep breath and spread his arms and bent his knees. I love how the author tells me exactly what his body is doing up there. Good writers would do that. Then he sprang up off the board, flying. Jabari hit the water with a splash. Down, down, down he went, and then back up. Whoosh! Jabari, you did it, said his dad. I did it, said Jabari. I'm a great jumper. And you know what? What? Said his dad. Surprise double backflip is next. The end. You can clap if you like that story like we do in class. I took the jacket off, but here's the front of it. This might be a good book to find in your library or to find on Amazon. I love how even though Jabari was going through a very small moment of just jumping off the diving board, the author added so many details so I would know exactly how Jabari was feeling and I would know exactly what it would look like and sound like if I were in that moment with Jabari. Are you doing that in your writing? Are you adding enough details where I know exactly what you're thinking, what it looks like for you, what it sounds like for you? I want you to go back and do all the things that we've talked about in your writing. If you need to go back and make changes, that's fantastic. That's just you being a good writer and revising. I cannot wait to hear your story at the end of the week. Love you guys. Bye.